If you had a box that was the United States, right, that represented your non-zero numbers, then you would recognize that on either side of the United States we have oceans. The ocean that's on the left is the Pacific, and the ocean that's on the eastern side is going to be your Atlantic. P and A are going to represent present and absent. And what they're talking about is whether or not decimals are present or absent within your number. So everything is going to move inward towards the United States. I know this seems like kind of confusing at first, but just trust me. So we have the United States, which represents our non-zero numbers. That's pretty easy to remember because non-zero numbers are always going to be significant, right? It's the zeros that get really confusing. So you just have to remember that the Pacific Ocean is going to be on the western side of the United States. P for present or P for Pacific. On the eastern side of the United States, you have the Atlantic Ocean, so that's A for absent, but also A for Atlantic. And then everything is moving inward from either of the sides. So no matter what number you have, I'll just write out some random numbers. Do this one again like that. Whatever. So we'll do some of these to begin with. So for this one, you have 3,800. So you're going to look at it and you're going to say, is a decimal place present or absent? For this guy, there's obviously no decimal, so he's absent. So we're going to look on this side and see that we're moving from right to left. So we're going to move from the right side of this number to the left side of this number, and we're going to keep going until we hit our first non-zero number. So we would go, this is obviously a 0. This is a 0. Here's our first non-zero number. Everything to the left of him is going to be significant. Even if there was something in front of him, everything in front of him is going to be significant. And I knew to go from right to left because the decimal place is absent and the arrow is telling me to go this direction. So therefore this guy is going to have 2 significant figures. So again, we'll try it with this guy. Decimal, present, or absent. In this one, the decimal is present. So we're going to start from the left side of the number and move to the right side of this number, which is what's indicated by this arrow, until we hit our first non-zero number. So this is a 0, this is a 0. Here is our first non-zero number. Him and everything to the right of him is going to be significant. So in this case, there's going to be 2 significant figures again. Even if I were to put like a couple more numbers, you still would do the same thing. Absent or present, it's present. We're moving from left to right until we hit our first non-zero, which is still going to be this 8, and everything to the right of him is going to be significant. So that in this case is going to be 4 significant figures now for this number. Even if there was a 0 on the end, it's still going to be the same rules. It's just that now he's going to have 5 significant figures. So again, present or absent, it's present. So we're going to go from left to right until we hit our first non-zero. The first digit in this case is a non-zero, so we have 1 and then everything to the right of him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 significant figures. This guy, same thing. We go here until we hit our first one. Here it is, and we have 1, 2, 3. This guy, present or absent, same thing. There's going to be so on and so forth. We didn't really do a lot of absent numbers, but same general concept. So absent or present, obviously absent, we're going to start from this side until we hit our first non-zero. That's going to be this 2, and everything now to the left of him, because of this arrow, is going to be significant. So only 1 and then 2. And then again, we're absent for a decimal, so you're going to start from the right side, move in towards the left side until you hit your first non-zero number, which is going to be this guy, and he still has only 2 significant figures. Hopefully that was helpful. You might have to watch it a couple of times, but this is a really good trick. It's something that everybody that is college age living in the United States is pretty well aware of, as far as here's the US and which ocean is where. So it kind of is already common knowledge to you, and it helps you remember it. It's easy to draw up on the top corner of an exam or a homework paper so that you can go ahead and visualize this. And obviously this is kind of a longer way to do it because you have to draw this out and then kind of like identify a couple things, and it takes a little bit longer, but the more that you do it with this kind of a method, the faster you'll get, and soon enough you won't even have to have this. So hopefully that's helpful.